Well, g'day again. Here I am with another idea today to show you what's going on in my backyard. And this is Phil's gardening sojourn. I had to pull my decking apart after 20 years. And I'm going to show you the decking right now that we've been rebuilding. And part of the reason I'm showing you this is because the pine wood that was underneath the decking, I've had to put in other places. But I'll show you how I've treated it so that I could use it as garden surrounds. Anyway, let's turn around. This is my deck. Now this was built by me 20 years ago and I'm rebuilding it. But I had to pull it apart completely. And we used to have those big piers sitting up on top, but they went down there. And if you have a look along this decking, it's a rather pretty merbau, and I tend to liken this section here to the Death Star in Star Wars at the beginning of that series, where it was partially built. I've got a long way to go, and as you can see, it just continues to go around this corner and over onto another section over here. Now I've just set up a few things, a saw, brought some wood around, and I'll be getting into that this afternoon. Oh, by the way, this is one of my grape trees, but it's a sultana, and when we first got it we didn't know what to do with it. I've cut it back really hard at the moment because it was getting in the way. But what do you do with that fruit that you can't eat? Well, I decided to dry some to find out what it was like, and guess what? It tasted like sultanas. Beautiful. Anyway, I decided to make some jam out of it. And we had 100 handfuls of these grapes growing on it because I'd let it get so big. And we made this beautiful jam and jam syrup, and it was wonderful on ice cream and on our bread and butter. And we just didn't know what to do for quite a few years, but just by experimenting we found one thing that we really enjoyed. Underneath the veranda you'll see also some vegetables growing in some new soil that I've put in there. It was to help get the grapes growing, but it was also to utilize the sunlight which comes through here. And here, although he's in a bit of trouble, the bottom part's still alive. This is a black muscat grape, and as you can see again, I have cut him back pretty hard, but eventually he'll come up again and we'll be having some of those black muscat grapes. That is if the birds don't get them. Anyway, part of the reason I brought you down here was this. I'm just setting up right now to do a bit of painting. But I'm using bitumen paint on treated pine. Now just to show you some of the treated pine and the condition it was in, I'll get down here fairly quickly. It started to rot after 20 years, and we decided it was much better to take it out and then to replace it. But meanwhile, I've been painting those old ones as well, and they're going around the garden. Now if I had time I'd show you how to do this, but it's fairly simple. It's just dip that brush into that tar and just completely do that, those pieces of wood there. And they go down the far end over there where the step ladder is, if you can see that step ladder. Anyway, this is another section of this garden that has been neglected for some time. And right there, growing beautifully, is my kiwi fruit. That's the female. It won't give us any fruit this year. Why? Because I cut it back so hard, and it needs second year growth to actually give us decent fruit. I'll be very surprised if we get any. And at this end here is our male plant. But down here is all my stuff that I put on top of plastic to stop the grass growing, and as you can see it got out of control. This is something that you will see improve over the next few months. Anyway, I better be heading off now because I've got all this work to do right here, and I'll see you again in a little while. Bye for now.